Hi, I'm Mary Vriesberg, and welcome back to God, Me, and My Hula Hoop. It has been a while since I brought you a video, and I wanted to update you on some things that I have been doing and some journeys that God has placed me on. And most recently, I want to share with you a journey I'm just getting back from, and that was a book tour. I was gone all of last week on a book tour promoting my book, God, Me, and My Hula Hoop, Finding Balance and Momentum in Your Walk with Christ. And I was able to go up to South Carolina, up in the Greenville area, and to Atlanta, Georgia. I started this particular journey up in South Carolina, and I was doing a live broadcast from one of the television stations there about the book. And what I realized as I come back from the trip, that there were two common themes that both the host in South Carolina and the host of the different programs in Atlanta would ask me. And the two questions they would ask me were how to find balance in today's busy world, and what does it mean when I say, in my book, I refer to this quote that I have, that sometimes the simplest things are the hardest to do. And I want to share with you what happened and what was revealed from those two questions that are commonly asked. Finding balance. Finding balance is a very difficult thing for all of us to do right now because so many of us have so many things going on. We have to look at all the different areas of our lives and decide what is out of balance and how do we pull that into balance. And the host in South Carolina asked me that question, and I gave her several good answers that I have in my book, and I gave her this one as well. I suggested to her that when we get in the car, we turn off the radio and we use the car as a time for us to really have a conversation with Christ and talk about and share about what's on our heart, what is out of balance in our life, that we need to really focus in on Christ and put Him in the center of as our foundation. And use the time in the car, just some quiet time, that we get to have conversation with Christ. Now, I'm a mother of 3, so I can tune out about anything that's going on inside and outside of my car. So I can have some quiet time in the car. The next night, I'm going down from South Carolina down to Atlanta. And it brings up the second question that was asked by all of the hosts. And that's the question where I quote in my book, this is a quote that I made up, that sometimes the simplest things are the hardest to do. Because it wasn't 24 hours later, and God in all His great humor shows me that, Mary, sometimes the simplest things are the most difficult to do. I'm living out my book. I'm living out my book right in front of me. I'm in Atlanta, and I have a 7 o'clock call for another live television show in Atlanta. And I'm 7 miles from my hotel to the studio. 7 miles. I leave an hour and a half early to get from my hotel 7 miles away to the studio, so I have enough time to get there, meet the producers and the hosts, things like that. God was laughing down at me going, yeah, I'm going to show you how to eat some of those words you just shared the night before. It took me an hour and a half to go 7 miles in Atlanta traffic. I got to share with you, there was no balance going on in my car. There was no momentum going on in my car. I had no spiritual momentum, and my car had no momentum. We were both stuck. Stuck in traffic and spiritually stuck because I was not focusing on Christ one bit. I was so focused on me and how I needed to be somewhere and how this traffic was holding me up and what was going on. And I'm gonna be flat out honest with you. There was not balance happening in my conversations with Christ because He was not included in any of it. It was all about me. And just the night before, I was giving this advice on how you can find balance while you're in your car by having a conversation with Christ. And not 24 hours later, I'm in my car and I have no balance whatsoever. I'm living out the book. I'm living out the journey. I'm living out the fact that even though I've written this book on finding balance and momentum, continually have to think about putting Christ in the center of my life. And that it is true that sometimes the simplest things are the hardest and most difficult to do. And I'm here to share with you that I am on this journey with you. That I lose balance and momentum sometimes. And people I know, people who write to me, they share with me about how they lose balance and momentum sometimes. But I know that together, as we go through this journey together, and we can really look back and reflect on how Christ has used us in our journeys, and we're honest about that we can find the balance and momentum to move forward in our spiritual walk with Christ and to live the life that Christ desires for us. It might be in a car, it might be a completely different situation. I would like for you to, if you feel comfortable, share with me the way that God has worked with you in your journey. Where have you lost balance and momentum? For me, it was just a few days ago. And I'm even back at home now. I have my sweatshirt on because in my home I need to find balance because there's always laundry and dishes to do, being a mom. So I'm at home finding that home balance. But the message was really important to me. It was on my heart to share with you that we are all on this journey together. And that, like for me, what happened the other day, when there was no balance, there was no momentum. There was a police officer yelling at me to get out of the road. Christ was not at the center of my thinking. But I can reflect back now, and I know that, and I can think about that. So the next time I find myself in this situation, hopefully I won't react the same, and I'll put Christ first. But we're going to do this together. As you move forward into this next week, if you find things that are unexpected to you, or maybe you expect them and they're throwing your life out of balance, do what you can to put Christ in the center, whatever that looks like for you. And let me know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And let's share this journey together. Because I know Christ is waiting for us in the center of everything. You have a blessed week, and I will talk with you soon. Bye-bye.